and welcome back to Neon Fastique. On today's show, we are taking a look at the much overlooked graphic novella Creepshow. Published in July of 1982 to coincide with a movie release a few months prior, Creepshow was brought to mass market retail under the Penguin imprint Plume. But for a short time, there was also a special mail-away promotion offered through various magazines such as Cine Fantastique and Fantastic Films. For a limited time only, mail-away customers could obtain their copy of Creepshow, complete with a limited edition autographed bookplate by the artist Bernie Wrightson. The graphic novel is basically a movie adaptation illustrated by Bernie and Michelle Wrightson with additional cover art by Jack Kamen. The novel is an oversized cardstock trade paperback containing 64 pages with full horrific colour throughout. Adapting the movie, Creepshow the graphic novel contains the same 5 jolting tales of horror written by award-winning author Stephen King. Interestingly though, 2 out of the 5 stories, Weeds, published by Cavalier in 1976, and The Crate, published by Gallery in 1979, were reused for Creepshow, with the short story Weeds being retitled as The Lonesome Tale of Geordie Verrill. Both short stories have never been collected in a Stephen King novel, with both still remaining uncollected. The 5 horrific tales in order of appearance are Father's Day, Lonesome Tale of Geordie Verrill, The Crate, Something to Tide You Over, and They're Creeping Up on You. Creepshow has had subsequent reprinting since its original release in 1982, with European editions covering the book in hardback format. In 2017, Creepshow was again re-released by Gallery 13, a new publishing arm of Simon & Schuster, and as both fan and comic book retailer myself, I jumped all over this. Even our delivery driver got in on the act, delivering our weekly comic books in true creeper fashion. And here we have an original example from 1982, so let's take a sneak peek. Now obviously this is the front cover featuring art by Jack Kamen. On the reverse, pretty simple, but featuring a photograph of the master of horror himself, Stephen King. Now as we open up the graphic novel, we're greeted with this fantastic piece of artwork by Bernie Wrightson. So this is the title page, and immediately we can start with Father's Day. Now it's interesting to note, for those of you that are interested or collectors, this is actually a first printing from July 1982. Now it gives you a sequence of numbers 1 through 9 in numerical order. Now this book has been reprinted that many times, but the early 2nd, 3rd, 4th printings still have this numerical sequence, but it won't be in order. Okay, so you need to check that before you purchase a copy. If it's got the numerical order 1 through 9, you can pretty much safely say it's a first print edition. Okay, right, so as we go through the Father's Day story, now some of these characters do bear resemblance to the ones you see on screen, but I kind of like the fact that it's different. And I was so excited when I learned, after watching the original movie back on VHS cassette in the early 80s, that there wasn't actually a comic book, but it took me many years to acquire it. But this was the closest thing that we could get, especially here in the UK, to anything resembling EC comics of the 50s, like Tales of the Crypt, etc. But as you can see, beautiful colouring, and the artwork is absolutely fantastic. So this is the Lonesome Tale of Geordie Verrill. As we stated before, this was originally titled Weeds. And as we move through, you get the gist of the story. And then we're on to the Crate. Now, if I'm honest, this is the most violent episode. But cracking little story nonetheless. Beautiful artwork coupled with fantastic colouring. Excellent. Now the next story coming up, if I done my homework properly, is Something to Tide You Over. Now originally, when I was a child, when I first saw this movie, I found this story to be a little bit boring, if I'm honest, but obviously I've learned to appreciate it as I've matured, shall we say. It's It's great how these stories always have that revenge is sweet motif about them. And finally, they're creeping up on you. So this is not for you if you have a fear of insects. But again, fantastic artwork. Yeah, there is literally nothing bad you can actually say about this graphic novel. It's absolutely fantastic. And there you have it, Creepshow in all its glory. Now, the reprint editions are still available from all good comic book stores and obviously the secondary market. But if you're a fan of Stephen King, George A. Romero, the director who directed Creepshow, or the horror genre both on film and in comic books, then this is definitely for you if you don't already have a copy. But as always, I hope you've enjoyed this video, and until next time, take care, and I'll see you in the next one. Cheers.
Oh, I got a live one here.